What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mountain Witch Tarot channel. I'm your host, Sarah, and today we are talking about Donald Trump's mortality because Donald Trump has been talking about his mortality. Now, everybody is familiar with and right now talking about the Fox News clip where he goes on this weird tirade about whether or not he's going to heaven. Spoiler alert, Donald, no. Probably not. But did you know that he actually said something along these lines about 2 weeks ago, a little less than 2 weeks ago? It was in regard to, let's see, what was it? It was on C-SPAN, and he was talking about something. It's so hard to know what this man's talking about. Let me just say that. Something about businesses or factories coming to the United States. Like, you know, how he's always hyping himself up and hyping up the decisions and choices he's made for the rest of us. That's what he was doing. So he was kind of doing the off-ramps to nowhere, rambling, mumbling. And in passing, just out of nowhere, he says, I hope I'm around, or I want to be around when, you know, basically when the time comes, because he wants to be able to see this crazy story that, you know, he's telling. He wants to see it play out. And then he just throws in this weird little statement about, you know, I want to be around to see this happen. So I'll tell you, this is not something that a person like him talks about unless it's really weighing on their mind. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I'm going on my own off-ramp to nowhere, guys. So we know that he's been in public with like the swollen ankles and the bruises on his hands and all that. So I'm just wondering, has something changed? Has Donald Trump been informed of something serious regarding his health? Oh, there we go. There's Trump himself. Looks like there may be a question about his health right now. We got the Fox card and we've got the cross card surrounding this significator right here. Always shows up for Trump. It's funny. It's like always this blonde guy. So something's wrong. There's definitely some type of burden weighing on him right now. So let's find out, what kind of burden are we talking about here? Could be something new, something growing, something that they don't know for sure. Okay, so we've got an element of confusion here. Interesting. So we have the other man significator coming out, and realistically, I should have taken him out of the deck, but we're going to go with it because I feel like, crazy enough, he's on the bottom. Something new and something confusing, something that's possibly spreading, something that they are maybe tracking and monitoring. This could be my bias, but I feel like this is a doctor because it's an entirely different male significator coming through. And he's got his back turned to these things. And I'm kind of getting the vibe that, yeah, there is something developing with his health that they don't really know much about just yet. Let's get 7 cards this time. What does Trump know? Like, what is going on with his health? Wow. Okay. So this is really interesting. So we've got the rider in the center to represent incoming news or something moving really fast. And he's looking towards this side over here. There could be a sense of fast movement, something progressing quickly. And once again, we have the clouds card. And interestingly enough, we also have the cross card again. So good indicator that we're linked to the first reading here and the second one. With the heart and the clouds and the anchor, I'm kind of getting this feeling that it does have something to do with his heart. Maybe they're not 100% sure yet, or maybe there is something that they've found that they have to do further testing on. And with the anchor card, I feel like it's heavy. You know, whatever the situation is pretty serious. So then over here with across the stars and the tower, I feel like this is something that's been going on for a long time. Maybe they've actually been watching it. And that would make a lot of sense with the stars, and then also could have a double meaning here where whatever it is progressing. You know, it's spreading, getting worse. We do have a lot of spades cards, looks like. Sorry, I can't hardly see them from back here behind the camera. Looks like we got, you know, several spades cards here. So that's kind of also a bad sign. Let's go ahead and get another spread. Let's see if there's any chance that the public will be informed about this anytime soon. Let's get 3 cards to indicate whether or not the public will be informed. Pretty good indicator that they're going to withhold this information in self-interest, as per usual, because they don't ever want Donald Trump to look weak. Wow, okay, the clouds again. For his self-interest and for his reputation, because he is so concerned with his reputation, they are going to lie about what's going on with him, and they are going to deceive the public because they don't want anyone to perceive him as weak. Couldn't be more obvious. Clouds, fox, and moon. Straight answer. Straight answer. So let's get a few cards to find out, like, how serious is this? I'm going to draw 2 more cards. Actually, let's do 3. Let's do 3 beneath it. Let's do 3 clarifying cards underneath these cards. Certainly looks like concern is growing, because we have, once again, Donald Trump presenting here with the child card. And notice how we're getting the same cards over and over. But this is a growing concern. So if you remember, I asked, how serious is it? It's growing. They're starting to take it seriously. Kind of looks to me like there is a female energy that has, maybe a doctor, maybe someone close to Trump, maybe even Melania, who knows. This is something that some female energy has been telling him for a long time, or it could be, I just remembered, since this is a political reading, this could also be his administration, like the people closest to him, are telling him, over a period of time, like, this situation is growing. It's becoming bigger. It's, you're going to let it go too far, but it's been a long-standing issue. And then down here with the garden card, this is kind of a sense of togetherness and opening up. So I feel like there's not much of a secret here. This is not something that is brand new news, but I feel like it's something that he's perceiving as new, even though he's probably known about it for quite some time. And again, with the stars card, here we have this, whatever it is spreading. It's expanding, and it is progressing, and pretty serious. So yeah, pretty serious issue. Let's get another spread. So we're going to do a quick 5x3, like a Moreau style spread, and we are going to focus our intentions on regarding this health situation with Donald Trump. How does it play out over the course of the next few months towards the end of the year? So September, October, November, and December. We're kind of looking at like a 4-month time frame here. We've got the clouds card again, and we do have some glare. I will take care of that in just a second. So we've got the clouds card, the anchor card, and the sun card. Okay, big lighting change. Wow, okay. So here's the top line. Once again, we're seeing some cards come out that have already come out before. So we've got kind of like a heavy situation where there's still a lot of things up in the air. Still a lot of confusion. With the sun, snake, and fish, there's potentially like a deep exploration. I feel like this is probably a medical procedure. Let's go ahead and get the next row. We've got the stars card again, which is interesting, and we've got the White House, because remember, the political reassignments count. The lady card here could either be the administration and those closest to him, or it could be a specific woman. It could be Caroline Leavitt. So in the top line, I feel like we're definitely seeing some big medical procedure. I get the feeling, though, that we probably won't be told directly. If we are told directly, then this could very well be Caroline Leavitt. And that would make sense, because, we have like a woman who is, like networking from the White House. So we could actually find out about this. Medical procedure, communication. Let's see what our next 2 cards are. Oh boy, yep, communication. We just got the communication card. Loyalists. Oh gosh. Looks like there's a good chance we might hear about what is going on. Let's go ahead and get the rest of the spread, though, so we have more context to go on. Because obviously the cards will change the more context we have. That looks like news of a surgery, honestly. Like, again, the context can change, though, so let's give it a second. This is pretty heavy. So we have a woman at the center, may or may not be Caroline Leavitt. It looks like it is, because here we have networking, White House, messaging, and a loyalist. Caroline is nothing if not a loyalist, so that would make a lot of sense that this line is about her. If it is about her, then we're definitely going to see a press conference on this where she addresses something regarding a new health issue or a growing health issue. Now, what's interesting here, and like I keep saying with the context, if you look at the top line, the sun is right above her head. So that's kind of actually making me feel like she's once again going to lie for Donald Trump, because if you look right next to the sun, we have the snake. And so the snake and the sun over top of her head is kind of her setting up this sunny disposition of dishonesty about what's going on. And then with the anchor above her head, also kind of goes along with this theory, because it's like, oh, he's stable. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Things are great. But as you can see, things are not so great. So on the bottom line, we have at the center, almost like going back up to this T right here, like she's protecting Donald Trump's best interest, because we have the heart here, and I just get this protective energy here. I do definitely believe now there's a good chance this is about Caroline Leavitt. So protecting his interests. What do we have? We have the stork and the crossroads. So there's this sense of like moving in different directions, could be a diversion. Then we have the messenger or the rider and the scythe, which is he's actually pointing toward the scythe. And the scythe is pointing away from him. That could be significant. I don't know. But it definitely looks like news being brought about something, like something either happening quickly, some type of like, it could be her sharp, the way that she disseminates information. It's very like sharp tongued, very, she's not very nice, basically. And that would make sense in line with this block of cards here, because here we have, like, again, the context changes depending on where you're going in the spread. So we got, if we look at this together with the clouds, the anchor, the White House, the stars. So there's this communication where she just continuously lies and talks about how everything is fine, and then kind of burying what's actually happening down here. So the news that she's bringing isn't really the truth. It's a skewed version to protect his best interests. And then over here, loyalists, they're, kind of like the communication here with the letter is tucked into the center of this with the loyalists and the change. And it's almost like they're saying, like, how can we put a spin on this? How can we, what direction do we go in here to make this seem like it's not what it actually is? So I feel like it could go either way. Let's get 3 cards for the fate line, though, and just kind of see what comes out. And again, just to restate the question, we are wondering in regard to Donald Trump's health issue that he is apparently aware of and thinking a lot about. How does it present itself over the next 4 months toward the end of the year? And I may have to overlap these a little so you can see them. So once again, we have the child card coming out, which we've had in several readings before. Oh boy. Oh my, we're getting the same cards again. This is so weird. So weird. Okay, so we've got the child, the whip, and the tower. My biggest observation, I guess, for these 3 cards is that once again, as we've seen many times before, they are making a big thing much smaller than it actually is. So they tend to turn small things into large things and large things into small things, depending on what fits their narrative. Let me fix the camera. This is bothering me. Hang on just a second. Okay, that's a little better. Sorry, I'm using my crappy tripod today and I'm having some technical difficulties. Anyway, getting back to this. So I definitely think that we're seeing a potential for just, continued repeated actions as far as deception goes, where they tell us one thing when something else is actually, in reality, the case. Interestingly enough, and I'm going to mess up the whole spread here, if we look at the diamond in the center, just reinforcement that she is willing to do whatever it takes to protect Donald Trump's best interests. Interesting that, considering the question was about how does his health issue play out until the end of the year, she's kind of like the dominating energy over the situation. Isn't that kind of weird? I mean, and she was even the center card of the spread, so really strange. Anyway, I'm going to clear this spread and see if I can think up another question or two. So let's end this video here with a quick little 9-card spread. Is Donald Trump genuinely worried about his eternal salvation? Will this change him if he really genuinely is concerned? There he is. First thing you'll notice is we are seeing another reiteration with the same cards. So I'm going to tell you guys real quick, when that happens, I firmly believe that the collective energy surrounding a topic is very strong. And what I mean by that is I think this is a big issue right now. I think it's a lot bigger than what people probably think it is. And more people are thinking and talking and putting energy out into the world around this issue. A lot of times when an issue, like especially in political readings, if an issue is kind of weak, low energy, the readings will be a little bit unstable. This one has been very connected from the very first spread. The first 3 cards I drew for this all the way through, we're seeing the cards reiterate the same information. So this is a big issue. And that's my personal take. That's my personal belief as far as what I believe the cards are and what they do and how they work. So having said that, we are seeing on this top line here that Donald Trump has been given some type of news that is likely, it was either, maybe he felt like it was abrupt. Maybe he felt like it came out of nowhere. Maybe it finally hit him. A lot of times for the Scythe card, I get like a hit is kind of what it's conveying. So something finally hit him regarding his health to the point that he's finally taking this whole thing seriously. And with the letter in the center, this is definitely like the message has finally got through to him, okay? He is at the center of his reading and he is looking towards the Lily card and he is turning his back on the birds. So I think what this is trying to tell us is that considering that the lily is about peace and happiness and, virtue and all those things, you guys brace yourself for this. This is him being more considerate of his virtue, turning his back on the chatter, turning his back on the smaller daily troubles that maybe he normally would spend a lot of time thinking about. And then down below here, we have once again the woman card showing up, and we have the loyalists and we have the fox. Now, I believe that this is an indicator here because, again, political reading, political reassignments, the administration, and the loyalists. So this is everybody around him. They know something's wrong. That's where the energy is coming from in this situation, is the amount of mental bandwidth that these two factions are putting into the ether. They know something's very wrong. And they also, double meaning here, because this card does represent self-interest. They are concerned what happens to them if they lose him. Okay, and above the heads of his closest people in his administration, we have nervousness and the scythe. So this is nervous about being cut out, being removed, about some type of swift, dangerous action regarding him. Okay, they're very flighty, very nervous, very on edge about this situation. I think with the fox here and the tree is, his health is going to take a big toll on like his daily happiness and his like day-to-day whatever. We're definitely going to see the effects of this. Of course, it'll be the type of thing where we see him in public with swollen ankles, bruised hands. It'll be little things like that. I feel pretty confident that it'll just be the type of thing to where we're like, hey, what's going on? Something's wrong. So there's going to be a lot of doubt cast on this situation, but we're going to notice. No matter what they do, I don't think they're going to be able to cover this up too much. They're going to lie about it like they always do, and you don't really even need cards to tell you that. They're going to obviously conceal the information. Very interesting reading for Donald Trump here. You guys let me know in the comments what you think of it. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please click the like button. It really helps out. Appreciate you guys so much for watching. And if you enjoy this type of content and you want to stick around and become part of the community, consider subscribing. And I will see you all in the next video. Have a great weekend.